Welcome to episode 36.
36, yeah.
Episode 36. It is a Tuesday. The phone is going. It is 1 p.m. It is busy here at JLC HQ. That is right on cue, isn't it? Just as we start, the phone's going. Yeah, but this isn't staged, guys. This is live. This happens every day, 1 p.m. Shout out James, taking over the reins yesterday. I was unable to join. In full transparency, my cat's not very well. I had to take it to the vet. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. She's 11-year-old Bengal, and I guess she's getting to that age now where things could potentially start going wrong. And she put up a right show. So, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know Bengal, they're from Southeast Asia. They kind of look like a leopard. They're a bit big. She's a girl, so she's a little bit skinnier. But she put up a right fuss. They had to get 3 veterinary nurses to hold her down just to examine her. So, yeah, she's fine. She's absolutely fine. I had no crate for her, so and she's got very sharp claws, so I've got scratches all over me, which is, I guess, her way of showing that she loves me. So it's positive. She's fine. She's on medication. We're all good. But that's why I wasn't in yesterday. Full transparency. Look, we've all got lives outside of this work. We've all got lives outside of our Monday to Friday 9 till 5. So that was just a little segment of mine. So James, thank you for taking over yesterday with Beak as well in our Almelo office. Yeah, so it's a Tuesday, guys, the 17th of July, 36 episodes. 36th episode that is forever evolving. This is a chance for you guys to join us and tag along, ask some questions. We talk about business, we talk about stock, we've got products in the warehouse, we'll go over as well. Yeah, this is just a forever evolving entity. And it's a chance for you guys to come along as well. You can either join us every day at 1 p.m. This happens around lunchtime, so I understand that you might want to go out and get your lunch and everything like that, or you can just have us on in the background as you can just hear me waffle on, and we can talk about everything really. But yeah, today we want to go over like a few bits. Obviously, Cat being one of them. Cat's fine, don't worry. But Pebbles, her name is. She's absolutely fine. And if you've got some questions, Bex, just fire them out to me.
There's none at the moment.
That's all right.
We've got 2 people watching.
2 people watching. That's okay. And 2 likes though, right?
No likes.
No likes. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, so I wanted to update.
Barry.
Hello, Barry.
Hey, right?
Yeah, good. What are you up to?
Working hard, playing heads and volleys in the garden with the boys.
Nice.
Team morale, isn't it? So,
yeah, and did you beat them?
I mean, I didn't lose. Let's say that. Poor loss.
So you won. You can say
There's headers and volleys, isn't it, with 5 people?
Oh,
so
headers.
No, there's just a loser, isn't there?
Headers and volleys. I guess we've got space out there, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, we did get into the brambles a couple of times.
But you've been doing a lot of garden work as well, haven't you?
That I have, clearing up for the next landlords, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So we've actually had a for sale sign put on our. It's don't worry, guys. We're still going to be operating as normal. We're going to be here at least for another year or so. Is that right, years?
Yeah. So we're here at least until next August anyway. So there's no effect to the trade at all.
No.
Don't worry about that.
But we've had a few people come in and view the premises today, which is going to be odd for us because I mean I've been here for the whole entirety of it. So we've been here 11 years, right?
Yeah, I've been here 10 years, haven't I? But
yeah,
it's been here the whole time. I obviously we moved some offices to Port Z and back, which I did.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to moving the place again, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
Well, we'll learn from that. I mean, I remember doing that. That was chaos. So we did it like in loads of. Can you imagine moving all of that? I mean, we didn't. Now, admittedly, we didn't have everything that we do have in the warehouse right now. We've accumulated over the years that we've been here, but it was quite a palaver, let's say. And then to also as well to that's a bit of a reverb.
Did you put the volume down?
That's all right. It's okay. So yeah, I guess for us we need to kind of focus on expanding and growing. And there's a few other places as well that we'll be looking at locally. I think we might be going somewhere locally. I'm not sure yet. We're still up in the air. But yeah, we've had people come and view us. Come look at our warehouse, and so it's a weird one. It's sad as well. We don't want to leave, but like Barry said, we are here until our lease is up until end of next year. So we aren't going anywhere just yet, and we can continue on as normal. But what I was going to say was I've had some update. Where's my coffee? Let's go over here.
We've got one quick question in.
Far away.
Penny. Yeah, if you could have any pet, what would it be?
Any pet, what would it be? Well, aside from the obvious, being a cat, I'm very much a cat. I'm a cat person. Don't get me wrong, I like dogs. I've had dogs in my life. I think, without going into it too much, dogs become part of your family. Like they become one of the family. So if you have to ever, unfortunately, have to say goodbye to a dog, it's really tough. And I remember having to say goodbye to my family dog, and it was tough. So cats are not in a way that I don't want to. Obviously, I'd be sad if Pebbles ever did leave me. But the cats are very independent. I just think they're like you understand why the Egyptians worship them, because they just are like, they are goddesses. Like they're tiny little tigers, little jaguars in your front room. You know, they go off and they hunt, and you can go out, and you know you don't have to worry about them. Pebbles has got a cat flap, so she can come in and come out. You know, leave out food for them. They don't require that level of attention as a dog might. Certainly a dog, if you're if depending on what breed of dog you've got. I won't claim to know all of the breeds of dog, but I expect a few of them, most of them even, require some level of exercise. Most periodic houses, townhouses, certainly in Bristol, aren't very big. So to have a dog, you'd need, for me anyway, I'd probably want it to have a certain amount of room. I'd need to allocate some time to it, of course, which I could. But for me, it would be a cat. It would be a cat, and then eventually probably a dog. I probably will get a dog soon. I'm not sure how it will work with Pebbles, but I think Bengals are pretty good. They can get on with most dogs. But we'll see. Depending on what dog I get will depend on what Pebbles and how she reacts to it. But yeah, that's a good question, Penny. Thank you. I know you've got a dog as well. So shout out. I think it's Charlie.
Harvey.
Sorry, Harvey. Harvey. Yeah. So I probably get. I probably stick with a cat, but yeah, I'm not sure. Or a dog, depending on what one. I've seen loads of. Like whenever I see someone's dog and I like them out in town, or if I see them out and about, I always ask what dog it is. For whatever reason, I mean, the Pomeranian, for example, everyone knows Pomeranian, they're tiny little things, really like shouldn't be here. Like the way that they've been bred, like how on earth could they survive on their own? You know, they've got no kind of, they completely rely on humans for food and everything like that. But anything mixed with a Pomeranian is cute as hell. So anything that's mixed with Pomeranian, obviously, I've seen like a Pomeranian mixed with a Spitz, which is like a type of like German / working dog, and they look amazing. But I guess it's not important to go for what it looks like. I guess it's their temperament and stuff. I like the Shiba Inus. Shiba Inus are cool, like the meme dog, the Dogecoin. They're cool, but again, they look great, but very, very energetic, require a lot of attention. So I guess you need to look at the temperament depending on what kind of scenario you're in. I guess you've got to be really smart with it. For example, a Bengal, I probably wouldn't get a Bengal again, but I rescued it during lockdown. So she was 6 when she came to me. Her family couldn't look after her anymore, and they reached out. I put my name down, and I was the lucky one that got the call and got the invite to come collect Pebbles and have her forever home. And at the time, I was living in quite a small flat in Bedminster in Bristol, so I felt like it was quite the wakening up call when Pebbles first arrived with her. She was pretty feral and still is pretty feral. I've just learned how to deal with her a lot more. My girlfriend, however, is still learning the hard way, and she still does attack my girlfriend every now and again. But I'm not going to say that's why I love her, but also I love that she's her own personality. You know, she doesn't require that constant affection, that constant reassurance. You know, she can go off and she can just sit somewhere and chill and like kind of be that proud-ass, independent cat that I just love. So yeah, I think I went off on a bit of tangent there, but that's why I like cats. Cats are cool. Apart from like to get like hair and everywhere, but you know, that's another story.
Natalie says, "Is there an animal you relate to the most?"
Oh my god, is there an animal I relate to the most? That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to like relate to an animal because I guess we're far from it. We're probably a little bit more complex than your basic, but I quite like the way that ants operate. I mean, I've said it before. I think I said on an episode before, ants. If there was a game that I could make, it would be about ants. But I just feel like ants are just this entity that we just know. I feel like anything in the insect kingdom is just amazing. That's kind of how where we all stem from, the insects eventually on the beginning of the world. You know, 500 million years ago when the world began, insects were the first ones to walk the earth. So they essentially could be part of us. You know, but if I was an animal, yeah, maybe an ant. I just like the way they work, like the way that no one ant is going to succeed. It's because of all of the ants, and I kind of like that a little bit. And then you can take it. There's like loads of animals I guess you could relate to, but for me, I've always liked the ant. And actually, I saw a beluga whale the other day. I was scrolling through LinkedIn. I saw a beluga whale like playing fetch like with somebody on a boat in like the Antarctica. Beluga whales, they look insane. They can see via sonar. I mean, they have a level of intelligence that we cannot comprehend as human beings. And actually, we can't even understand their level of intelligence, because our level of intelligence is what we can communicate to one another, and that's pretty two-dimensional. Which I say something, I say words that correlates into a sentence that we then depict, and that's how we spread information. But whereas beluga whales and dolphins and similar animals of that nature, they communicate via sound. They communicate like via like shockwave. I mean, maybe they're even, I don't even know. Maybe they're telekinetic. Who knows? We can't process that level of intelligence. So there could be animals out there that are more intelligent than us. So maybe the beluga whale. Maybe that's the one I relate to. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I can't remember. What was the question again? I just
is there an animal you relate to the most?
The ant and the beluga whale probably. But on the subject of that, if we haven't got any more questions,
no, that's all the questions.
Fine, but appreciate the question, guys. Thank you for the input. Remember, this happens every day 1 p.m. So I'm just going to waffle on, and we're going to talk a little bit about business. We talked about beluga whales, ants, but my friend has got some updates from the Antarctic. So he's actually leaving at the beginning of October. They went to a place in Avonmouth, local to here. I probably can't say too much, but there's a place there that's specializing and building how they can communicate on how they can attract the colossal squid. I know I spoke about it in the earlier episodes. Everyone probably knows about it. But the colossal squid never ever been recorded in its natural environment. We've only seen it by mistake. So when we go out, the fishermen, when they go out in the Antarctica and they look for Patagonia toothfish, right? It could be worth up to $20,000 per fish. That is the colossal squid's main source of prey. Aside from themselves, they also eat each other as well. They eat whatever moves down there. It's another world. But so when fishermen pull up these fish that are really expensive, and they could be anywhere from 40 meters to 3,800 meters down below, so that's crazy depth, right? So they have their lines, and when they lift them up and they catch the fish, finally, they unintentionally pick up the colossal squid, and that's how we know they exist. And also they get brought up on fishing lines, and also get kind of washed ashore as well. You know, and there's been some cases where they've seen them washed ashore, but more often than not, they won't make it ashore because they're out in the Antarctic. So it's a completely unexplored land. So he's going out with a small group in a huge vessel. It's called the Octopus vessel, fitting name. And he's going out at the beginning of October, and I'm just here for the story. I absolutely love it. I've always been a fan of wildlife. It just fascinates me. There's another world out there that we just do not know. We're out here trying to explore the space, right? We're out trying to like colonize other planets when there could be other life forms that we have no idea that lives right on this planet. But because they're so deep in the water, we just can't go down there. We can't get down there. We can't put a submarine. I mean, we can put a submarine down there and try and find colossal squid. But the colossal squid's main predator is a sperm whale. And of course, down there you can't see anything. So they've got these huge eyes that they've evolved over thousands and thousands of generations. And over time that they can see when there's no light whatsoever. So they use off like an infrared. So of course, if we were down there in a submarine trying to find them, they would just see the submarine from a mile off and just swim away. They're so quick as well. And they can grow, they go fully size up to 2 years as well. So these could be these huge monsters down there just evading us. It's like, to give you an example, it's like us trying to find like a bald eagle, right? And we were to climb a tree, and we can't breathe up in the air, so we'd have to climb the tree, look with something, and we can barely see. The bald eagle would just fly away. There's just no way. I mean, and then if you think about the sky, like how much of it is there versus the land, there's way more. Obviously, there's way more water than there is land mass, and yet we only reside over just a small density of land mass as human beings. So the scale of the ocean is amazing, and there's just so much on going on down there. But I could talk about it for ages, and we won't. So I'll go into the warehouse. But I was out on Saturday for a wedding party, and I got talking about mushrooms, and I just went off on one, and they were like, "What do you do as a job, man?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in IT." They were like, "Wow, you should talk about mushrooms." I was like, "Mate, maybe I will." I do actually every day, 1 p.m. So maybe they're here. How many do we have?
We've got 5 people.
They're probably not.
You never know.
They could be. I think I did waffle on about JLC. Oh God, I probably said a lot of stuff. You know, it's the way it goes. But anyway, this is a familiar site. This is our warehouse. This is where we do the majority of the business. This is our JLC HQ. This is the hub. This is where it all began. This is where we've been operating for 11 years now. I've been here for 11 and a half of those years. And during that time, we've grown exponentially. As you can see, we stock all kinds of things here, from headsets to webcams to docking stations to peripherals, accessories, cables, all lengths, all sizes. Yeah, there isn't anything really we can't get. And we're actually doing devices now as well. So we do a lot of Samsung devices as well. Don't worry, we can knock and roll. We can zero touch. We do all of that stuff. It all happens here in our warehouse. And of course, we got another place out in the Netherlands as well. Shout out to Owen and James and Beaker are out there at the moment with the team. You can't forget Laura, Jeffrey, Emre, Ines as well. And I think that's everyone.
Julian.
I did say Julian. There's Julian, Jeffrey. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So you've got all the guys out there doing numbers, doing really good bits. We work with a lot of big guys, big VARs based in the UK. So it kind of made sense for us to kind of expand into the European market, which is a lot bigger. And also where our current partners also have entities and that are a lot larger than here in the UK. Because the UK, as big as it is and as good as it is, predominantly, the UK is known for its financial services. It is the financial services hub of Europe. So predominantly, it's not IT that we're known for. That's more for Germany. Germany is one of the biggest, and then you've got Germany, you've got France, and other places like that. So it makes sense for us to expand into that market, and certainly since the old leaving of the EU as well, it kind of made sense. That was a great idea. So I won't get into that there. That's something else, maybe for Rumble. And but let's talk about what we got here. Do you have any questions?
Kelly would like to know, has Barry found anything cutting the brambles back in the garden?
That's a good question. Do you know what? Every now and again, we will stumble upon a bit of wildlife. We find a bit of wildlife. We found a slow worm, not to be mistaken by a snake. Slow worm is different. We've seen, what else have we found? Penny, what any other animals we found at the back? There's a cat that comes by. Yeah, anything else? Cat?
Was there a deer? Am I making
There was a deer. There was a deer.
There
was a deer.
I think Jack saw it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what? Because it's not true.
No, I mean I didn't see it.
Oh, you think I'm lying? Guys, there's a deer. Guys, there's a deer in the garden. Okay, fine. Maybe a dead mole or something. Shrew. I've definitely seen the odd shrew, but I definitely saw a deer. And I think deer are amazing as well. Deers are incredible. What else have we seen? So we've seen some deer. I've seen a woodpecker. I've seen obviously slow worms. Slow worms are so cool. Yeah, I used to back in when I was a kid. I used to play with like loads of slow worms in the garden. We had loads. So fond memories of slow worms. Loads of stuff. I guess this is like one of the luxuries of living in a suburban town. We work, if you don't already know, we work in Cleveland, a little sunny seaside town, covered with a bit of foliage. And Bristol, of course, as well. It's one of the smallest cities in the UK, and you haven't got to travel too far to be surrounded by countryside. And we are lucky to be surrounded by countryside here. So I guess we get one of those luxuries as well. We're not working in central Bristol city. We work just outside. So I think we want to remain here and stay here as well. And it's great for everyone that lives here because we all kind of live a little bit local as well. So yeah, it's always positive. But let's get into some products. Right, privacy.
One other question, really quick.
Yeah.
Kelly would like to know what you're dressing up as for Halloween.
Oh God, Halloween. There's been talk of Christmas as well.
Yeah, it's 99 days till Christmas. And we've got Halloween next month.
Do we have a Halloween thing next month? Do we?
Yeah, we have a fancy dress day.
And what am I dressing up as? It might be quite funny. I've always wanted to do this, but no one else does it with me. I'd like to dress up as a horse, but I want to be like one half of the horse, so the other person has to be the other half. It would be even better if we got a third and then we could make a really long horse. But I just trying to find the people that would be involved in that, and I guess who would be what segment. I wouldn't want to be the end. So someone would have to be the end, the rear of the horse. But I think that would just make for great content. I think it'd be so funny.
It would be funny. Anything
that you've got in corporate, because it's like, I think costumes, like, you can go out and you can spend like 30, 40, 50 quid, 80 quid on a costume, right? But I just think the costumes, you should make them, right? You should design them. You should make them. I remember me and my old like school friends and stuff, and we still do to this day every now and again. we'll make our own costumes. You know, we do. We've gone like Lord of the Rings. We've like made our own costume. I made a wizard's outfit. It was sick. I remember here as well, because we have so many spare boxes. I made a robot one year. It was like fully out of cardboard box. That was quite fun. We made a pirate ship here as well out of all the pallets and a bathtub. And we actually took that into Bristol. We thought it was part of what was it? Harbour Festival. So every year it's like, well, the boats come in and everyone has a big old sing or dance and stuff. But we actually made this boat out of a bathtub, and I got my friend who's a graffiti artist to do a huge sail off a fitted sheet, skull and crossbones. And then I went to like a local arts and crafts shop or like a recycle center, and I got like an old wheel and stuff and made it into it was great. I just think if you put the effort in, because it's like, it's all well and good. You can go on Amazon and buy like something. It just never looks as good, you know? I feel like if you can put some effort into it. Yeah. So with that being said, it's either a horse, but I don't think anyone will dress up with me. So I will probably have to do something Han Solo, which is fine. I'm really loving Lord of the Rings right now, so maybe I'll go OTT with Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Maybe Sauron or something. Sauron would be so sick. If I just had a full-on Sauron outfit, it'd have to be Sauron like as he is now, as I'm watching him through the Rings of Power, not Sauron like when he's all dressed up in his gear, because that's pretty heavy. But what are you gonna go as?
I'm not sure. Me and Benji have been deciding.
Okay.
Some ideas. I can't remember. We were talking about it last night actually, but I can't remember.
I feel like maybe a mummy could be quite cool. Like just like you could wrap yourself up, and I mean that is a little bit wasteful, but I'm sure we could make use of the wrapping or something.
I did accidentally order way too much toilet roll here.
Did you? Oh, it was all the boxes.
Yeah,
We had we obviously have to have people come in and look at the property for like future investment or whatever. They must think that they must think we've got like toilet paper coming out of us. Oh, you know, it's all human, it's all natural, and it's absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm just trying to think some other questions, some funny ones. Like I always think a ghost is pretty funny, just a fitted sheet.
Yeah, that is quite good.
Yeah, and maybe like nothing on underneath.
Arlene won last year with Ursula from Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my god, good. Yes, she was. That was good.
You did Squid Games, didn't you? You went to an event.
Yeah, we did Squid Games. So we went. We actually had an event with one of our partners, and we did like a day where all about JLC, and we dressed up. And I remember no one else dressed up at all, so it was just me and Natalie dressed as Squid Games. Look, it was all right. It was fine, you know, just the way it goes sometimes. You know, you can't expect everyone to be about that life all the time, and everyone take themselves a little bit too seriously. So it's like I understand that. So it was good fun though. That was good. Yeah, Squid Games. Yeah, it's good. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll have a think about that actually. Maybe if there's any recommendations in the chat or anything like that, please do say. But we will go on to this. Privacy screens, right? We've talked about it 1,000 times. We'll talk about them continuously because this is what we do here. It's just JLC products. Privacy screens again. I guess as more devices find themselves in more versatile situations, so a device can find itself from anywhere to a train, a busy train, could be on a plane, could be all over the place, right? So and that sensitive information for that company, right, all of a sudden now is put into scenarios, whereas before it was safe and sound in an office with all of your fellow colleagues. Now the devices are finding themselves in all sorts of places. So birth of the privacy screen being that no one can look at your data from the left or right of you. So it's called shoulder surfing, believe it or not. Shoulder surfing is a thing. And of course, data now, you're hearing about all these other breaches and things like that. To protect people's data has become even more imperative, as Mark Zuckerberg once showed when he put his little bit of tape on that camera. Obviously, this is something slightly different. This protects the data on your screen. Also, as well, acts as a screen protector, so it kind of doubles up. So doubles up just in case you drop your device off for whatever reason, or if you've got a small device. These are obviously quite large. These are for laptops and monitors as well. But as well, it just protects your data. I guess when you used to go into banks, one upon a time, you don't go into banks anymore, do you? Where have they gone? Where have they all gone? Banks. No one does any banks anymore. Whenever you remember to go into like a bank, they used to have like a huge privacy shield that used to like put over the device. You remember that? I
do. I think yes. You can't. No one can see.
Yeah, no one can see left or right. Like that's kind of like where it was. But now privacy screens just everywhere. So, and because obviously we buy the material, we buy directly from manufacturing. So, our MOQs, minimum order quantities, are quite low. So depending on what device that you've got, or monitor you've got, or whatever you're selling, we can custom make it to that device. So it fits nice and snug. You see a lot of companies, a lot of other vendors out there, a lot of manufacturers, they just do universal ones, which we do as well, but we do a little bit more niche. We can tailor the solution depending on the demand that you have. So if you've got 100 or 150 or maybe even 1,000, we can completely tailor it to that device. So you've got no like, so it's not like it's nice and snug. You know, it's nice and fit. It fits the bezel just nice. And yeah, we do privacy screens, anti-shock as well. So we do tempered glass. Tempered glass we all know and love. Comes in different sizes. I've talked about that before. And yeah, it's just a all-round great product, and it's a huge seller here for us at JLC. So yeah, guys, JLC privacy screens, we do them all. Okay, so for that, any more questions before we dive into the next one?
That's all the questions.
That's okay. Well, we've got an iPad. What's this here? 12.9. Okay, 12.9, the bigger of the iPad devices. This kind of works. So it basically enables your device and turns it into a laptop. Again, very popular. We're doing so many of these right now for the new 10th gen. This is obviously the old one, and the new 10th gen we're actually commissioning. We've got a new product in the curtains. We're doing some big numbers with that and some exciting opportunities for those as well. And it works with the iPad 10th gen has a charging 3-pin go on there as well. So our new solution actually charges from that directly, whereas before we'd have to charge the device through other means like a Type-C cable or something like that. So, and also it would connect via Bluetooth, which again has its problems, has its issues as well. So certainly if you're going into a more maybe security tight environment, like I don't know, like the MOD or maybe some police forces as well, you've got to have a level of encryption for the Bluetooth. So our keyboard cases connect directly to the iPad as well. So it's a feature that we didn't know that we were going to need, but it actually turns out to be quite well. So that's numbers. Anything else?
No, that's all the questions at the moment.
I've kind of waffled on for like quite a little bit. How many viewers do you have?
We've got 6 viewers, 3
Fine.
likes, and 27 minutes.
27 minutes. All right, okay. I think that's kind of come to like a nice organic end. We're going to be trying a few more other things, and the guys as well. Obviously, these all get uploaded as well. So if you've got any comments or any feedback or anything like that, please, we would love to hear from you. We don't claim to know it all here at JLC. We are learning. We are just on that boat of knowledge as well. I'm trying to evolve myself. I'm trying to adapt, and I'm trying to be the best that I can be. Obviously, my main role here is head of new business and account director. I look after a few partners here in the UK and in Europe. So that is where I spend the majority of my time, but I'm trying desperately to evolve this area. So we're trying to allocate time. I'm trying to allocate time out of my day. I know Bex is working. Bex behind the camera, showers as well. We're trying to organize the time efficiently. So if there's anything that you recommend or you feel like you want us to talk about, please do let us know, because ultimately we're just a small SME just trying to make it in a big vendor world. So yeah, and I'm going to close it off there. So thank you so much. I'm the host, Jack Walsh, and I will see you tomorrow at 1